What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? My name's Naomi. Welcome to House of Miscellania. Tonight, I am recording for you a WIP and chat. WIP stands for work in progress, and I am currently working on the Morrigan from Diamond Art Club. Look at this beauty. I am actually right up here in the last little bitty corner. I am almost done with her. You can see her elbow, and I'm up at the last corner. I started it on the 13th, and by the time that you are watching this, it will be the 28th. So that's what, 15 days? 13th to 20. Wait, yeah, 15 days. I can count, okay? Let me tell you really quickly about my tools and things. Also, I apologize in advance for the crickets. We got crickets for our lizards, and they didn't eat all of them, so now I get to listen to crickets at nighttime, so it's not so bad. My tools that I am using my usual Firefly tray. It is the Switch Mini Max from Firefly. I love this thing. It runs about 20 bucks. It has this removable lid along with a removable trash tray, which, as you can see, I got a little trash in there, but you can take that right out. It has an open and close pour spout, which I really love. And then this little hole on the top, you can put your pen in, and it will keep it from falling over. Speaking of pens, this is one of my very own pens that I turned myself. And it's in the House of Miscellania colors. I love it. You can see little baby hints of blue in there, purple, white. It's got pink and blue. Oh my goodness. It's a nice big chunky pen. And so I've really enjoyed using this, but one of my own in my thin metal multi-placer, I am using, there it is. I am using Pearl Scent from Butterfly Effect Wares. Reason being is it is real hot in my house, okay, and humid, very sultry, and so I needed to use a very dry putty, and Butterfly Effect Wares is the driest that I have, so I am using their Pearl Scent along with the Ghost in my single placer. Ghost is a liquid that creates a little glue dot for you. I got this from Diamond Painting Daily on Etsy. So those are my tools. Lastly, I have in front of me the Fairies Oracle cards by Brian Froud, which we will get into these by the end of the WIP and chat. Now, for those of you who are brand new and have never been on my channel before, welcome. Very nice to see you. Well, you see me. I don't see you. You see my hands. Welcome to the channel. Those of you who are coming back, welcome back. What I usually do is for about an hour, I talk about my week, I talk about things going on with the channel, and then at the end, I talk about things to do with mental health. And usually what I do in regards to that is I will pick a tarot card and or an oracle card, and then I will kind of go off of what that says. I talk about the one that I pulled from the week before and how I applied that to my week, but I just pull one card and kind of treat that as a thought for the week or something to look into during the week, etc. It's been working out pretty well so far, and people seem to genuinely enjoy it. So I'm gonna keep doing that until I don't want to do it anymore. Now, I am literally on the last color, and I figured that this last color would be take about an hour's worth, because as you can see, it's from here down to there, and it's quite a bit of the same color that I'm doing. So I figure, meh, why not? It'd be probably right about where I need to go, and then I'll finish with the painting tonight, and you get to see me finish it. So let's get right into it, and I'll tell you kind of about my week. This week, oh goodness. Okay, so a few things of note that happened. I was on the Discord with a group of people. It was middle of the night. I decided to go for a walk, which is what I usually do. I'll usually be working on a square. After I've been sitting for a couple of hours, I get up, I move around. It's been very, very hot out the last couple of days, so I've been doing a little less of that because I don't like to sweat my cojones off, but I don't have cojones. You know what I mean. Anyways, so I was out walking, and all of a sudden, down the sidewalk from me on the corner is this dog just standing there, a dog in the dark. Now, my neighborhood, you rarely see loose dogs. Like, that's not a normal occurrence. So this loose dog just standing there scared the poops out of me, okay? Because was not expecting to see a loose dog. So I'm standing there staring at it. It's staring at me. And then all of a sudden it bolts off to my right. And I realize this loose dog, it runs in front of me. It jumps on top of these trash cans and then over a fence. And I'm assuming into its own yard. Well, it never came back out. The next day, I was walking past the house and the owner was outside doing something in the yard. I said, hey, question for you. Do you have a tan dog? It's like dark in the front, tan in the back. He said, yeah, it's a cattle dog. I said, well, last night I was walking around and your dog was loose and running. It can jump your garbage cans. And he's looking around. He's like, man, he knew the dog could jump. I don't think he realized it could jump on top of his trash cans, because our trash cans around here are like, probably 4 foot, 5 foot tall. I don't think he was expecting it to have a 4 foot leap, but a cattle dog, man, those things, they, no joke. They are all about, like agility and things like, there's a reason that they put them, through agility things, because they got air. They definitely got hops. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, there was a loose dog. That was early last week. What else happened? So let's see. This was probably, I want to say on Thursday. It was Thursday because Aurora was moving out last Thursday. Aurora was moving back out to college, and she comes into the house and she's making her second trip, and she's like, Mom, there's a turkey across the street. And I'm like, oh? She's like, yeah, the neighbor's calling the DNR. I'm like, the DNR's not going to come and get a turkey. Like, turkeys can fly. It'll fly away. Well, so I'm looking out the window, and it's hopping on 1 foot. I'm like, what is going on with this turkey? Like, why is it hopping on 1 foot? Look a little closer. It crosses the street across from me, and then it crosses eventually to my side of the street, and I see this turkey only has 1 foot. I'm like watching this turkey just hopping. Well, I tell the guy, the next door neighbor, like, hey, I know you're calling the DNR. He's like, yeah, it's injured. I said, it's not injured. It's missing a foot, like fully missing a foot. It looks like it's been missing this foot for a while. So the likelihood of you getting the DNR out here for a turkey missing a foot that looks like it's been traveling around for a hot minute with this missing foot is pretty small, but you can try. Sure enough, they basically told him, like, it'll fly away, just leave it alone, don't bother it. Turkeys can become very dangerous, He's thinking he's like gonna do something nice for a turkey. I was like, yeah, sorry, dude. I used to work for animal control. I know that they're not likely to come out here and deal with a turkey. If they wouldn't come out and deal with injured owls or raccoons or whatever, they wouldn't come out for us. So there's no way they're gonna come out for you and this turkey with 1 foot that's hopping around just fine. So that was on Thursday. Speaking of, like I said, Aurora moved back to college. That's been odd feelings, I have to admit. Like, she's technically graduated from college, right? She graduated cum laude, right? And I went to her graduation. It was fantastic. She's going for her 5th year, which she is going back to do some like teaching assistance. Because she wants to eventually, I guess, be a music teacher. Well, the issue is that she's doing this 5th year teaching, but when she's done with her 5th teaching year and her boyfriend is on his senior year of college, they are both planning to move up to her dad's house, and he lives like 4 hours away, 4.5 hours away. And this would be the first time that she'll be living far from me in her life. You know, like even at college, she's only 20 minutes from home, you know? So this will be the first time that she's living far away, and I'm kind of like processing that, you know? And I've talked about it before, but it's just another step closer. I don't like that very much, but I'm meditating on it. You know, I'm trying to remember how much I needed my space away from my parents and to grow and change. And I talk about it in some upcoming members videos with my passion project. It'll be the next level that I'm planning, which I guess I'll segue right into that. I've talked a little bit about how I'm planning another members level, because right now I've got a $5 members level where you get early access to my videos, and I don't always get to bulk record, but when I do, it's pretty beneficial to those who are members of the channel, because you get to see my videos early. You get early access to all of my videos when I bulk record. Well, this next one will be exclusive videos, exclusive vlogs and things like that. And then there will be projects that will not be spoken about too much. Like, yes, I introduced the project on the channel, but I'm not going to be sharing my thoughts and opinions on where I'm at in the project. I won't be sharing updates and things like that on the general channel. I might share a post review on the kits when they're done, but I'm not planning to really go much further into detail, whereas the next level of membership is going to actually I'll share more information about things. It'll be a little more personal. There'll be some other perks with that membership. I was actually thinking about it. So I was like, well, I just started turning pens, so maybe I could add something in there where, you know, like there's a raffle for a pen for the members, because just like right now there's not a lot of members. There's like 21 or 22 members. And thank you to every single person who is a member. You guys have no idea how much it means to me that people would support my channel in that way. Honestly, hitting the subscribe button is a wonderful way to show your support for the channel. I'm incredibly grateful to all of my members. I'm trying to add a little something more, and I hope that the next membership level will be that. You know what I mean? So that said, there'll be some more video content that is not for the general channel. And I was thinking about it. Okay, so I've got these intention pens, right, that I've been working on. And I've got these tarot cards that I know how to read. So I was thinking that maybe once a quarter or biannually or something, I could do a tarot reading for that level of member. Like a full tarot reading, not just pull a card and give you a quick little something, but an actual tarot reading. I feel like that is a really good value, especially if it's twice a year, because I've seen what some people out there will charge for a reading. And I mean, you're not just getting a reading, you're getting special video content. I was still planning on doing like a once a year raffle for a pen for just the members. Like, you know, it's a chance to get a pen, but it's a chance to get a $100 pen. You know what I mean? And if there's only 5 members, that's a 1 in 5 chance at getting an intention pen or a zodiac pen, whichever the person wanted. But I have all these things like in the works. I'm recording the content right now. I'm batch recording the content right now because I want to be able to have enough to go on. I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do like a weekly vlog. Yeah, I've got a lot of things kind of in planning, in the works, and I'm just trying to get together the content to make sure that I don't have to worry about making time to make these videos, because I think that would be difficult given my like all over the map kind of schedule right now with trying to do content and pens and, you know, all of that. So yeah, I'm working out some things though. I wanted to let you know that there's plans, big plans. Speaking of pens, I did not get a chance to do much of anything with regard to pens this week because it has been so hot. The shop, because the weather this week here has been like 98 degrees before heat index, and that's not even counting humidity, things like that. One, you cannot work with resin in specific temperatures, and there's not an air conditioner in the shop where I make the pens and things. So certain epoxies, 2-part epoxies, they do not set up in those kinds of temperatures, or they set up too quickly. There's issues. So I can't pour resin if it's too hot. I can't work in the shop if it's too hot. So I have not gotten a whole lot done this week, and I apologize. I mean, I know that there's people waiting. I think that they understand that it would not be wise for me to like try and kill myself to turn pens this week. Love you, but I cannot do that for you. I really cannot do that for you. I was really excited because it had started to rain here for like all of 4.5 seconds. It sprinkled basically and then stopped. I was really hoping it was going to cool it off some, because it is just, yeah, it's uncomfortably warm. I have to turn off the air conditioner and the fan and things like that in order to record. Otherwise, you guys would not be able to hear me over all of the stuff. So it does get warm in here while I'm, you know, doing my WIP and chat for an hour. So sometimes I'll even, you know, pause the camera, sit in front of a fan for a minute, cool off some, you know, get back to it. Because, oof, man, yeah, I get warm pretty quickly. But it doesn't help, you know, you're over 40, you're starting to hit menopause or whatever, so you get these hot flashes anyways, and you just feel like you're roasting inside of your own skin. It's the best, pretty much the best. Anyways, so what else? I got a drill in my eye this week. That was really not fun. I did have a bit of a panic moment. I almost asked Dustin to lick my eyeball, to get the drill out. I didn't. That is a thing you can do, though. And I felt like because it like literally it stuck to my eyeball, okay? It was flat side to my eye, not the like pointed side, right? But it was the flat side to my eye. And I'm panicking. I'm sitting here and I'm like, "Oh my God." I blinked because at first I didn't feel it like actually touching my eye, so I was like, "Oh, no, it's not." And then I started to feel it like get underneath my eyelid, and I was afraid it was going to go below my eyeball. And then I'm like, "Oh my God, what if I get this like, oh Jesus." So I don't say anything. Dustin's sitting like where his recliner is set up, because the way I'm in this corner here by the stairs, because the stairs are right here, my little section is right here, and then he's got a recliner that's like the back of it is here, so this is the back of his head. I'm sitting at the desk and I stand up very quickly because I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I stand up, I go into the bathroom, and remember, there's a little teeny bathroom right over here by me. So I get up and I go in the bathroom really quick, and I'm like literally holding my eyelid, my lower eyelid open, because I'm afraid to blink, because at this point I'm moving the drill around in my eye and I can like feel it. I'm starting to panic. I'm like, oh shit, where are tweezers? Because I know I'm gonna need tweezers, and I'm thinking like the only tweezers I have laying around in spades, right, are murder tweezers. I was not gonna put that near my eyeball, right? So I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I'm in the bathroom, and I did manage, thank God, I managed to find a flat pair of tweezers, and I'm holding my eyelid open with one hand. I'm literally like, okay, I got to do this like precision. My one eye, my left eye, is, because that's the eyeball the drill went into, is starting to dry up. It's starting to get cloudy. My eye is starting to water. I'm going to start blinking at this point because my eye is both cloudy and watering. So I'm like, oh shit, oh shit. Okay, so I've got my left hand is holding my eyelid down, and my right hand with the tweezers, because there's no way I'm going to do left hand tweezers because I'm right-handed. And I'm like, okay, I gotta do this very slowly, and trying not to panic, and coming at your own eyeball with a pair of tweezers, not the most relaxing thing I've ever done in my life. But I did manage to get the drill off of my eyeball. Holy crap. And do you know how I did it? And you guys are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've worked on a Diamond Art Club square kit, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. So you know how like when you are trying to move your drills, and you're just trying to like scooch them a little bit to give yourself a little room, and when you do it, it like pops like 6 of your drills off all of a sudden because it's so tight. Yeah, I did that, but I was over top of it trying to see what I was doing, because the light, I've got my light here. I didn't have a light pad or whatever, and I was trying to see what I was doing. And so I was leaning over my canvas when it popped up into my eyeball. And you'd think like when a drill's coming at your eye, you're going to blink and it's not going to hit it. Nope. I got a drill straight to the eyeball, and it stuck fast. So yeah, I didn't even mention anything to Dustin. I still have yet to tell him that he was sitting there the whole time, and here I am panicking about a drill stuck to my eyeball. Because normally, right, if you've got a splinter in your eye or whatever, and you don't have immediate access to an eye wash station or something that you can remove that splinter, another human being, and this is disgusting, but it actually will work in an emergency situation. If another human being licks your eyeball, they can get that splinter out of your eye pretty safely, because they'll be able to feel it with their tongue. Is it disgusting? Yes, and I'm sorry that you just got a visual of somebody licking an eyeball, but it would work, right? So I literally was about to ask him to lick my eyeball to get this freaking drill out, because I don't have an eye wash station in my house. I don't have anything that I could have irrigated my eyeball out with. But now I'm kind of thinking like, holy crap, do I need to keep a freaking you know, like an irrigation or something near my desk so that if I ever get a drill in the eyeball again, because that was certainly not something I was expecting to have happen. Because I don't wear glasses. Maybe I need some safety glasses. Freaking diamond painting, so stressful. I need safety glasses to diamond paint so I don't literally blind myself with a freaking drill. Oh my god, I felt so stupid. But yeah, I went at my own eyeball with a pair of tweezers. It was the most nerve-wracking thing I've done in a while, in a long while. So do not recommend. Was not a good time. So when you are adjusting your drills and you are trying to get everything straightened out so it all fits and whatever, don't literally put your face over top of the drills because you could get a drill to the eyeball. Okay? Word to the wise, kids. Don't do it. It's scary. It's very, very scary. Otherwise, you're going to maybe need to ask another human being to lick your eyeball. And I don't know how many of you are into that sort of thing. Because I'm not. That's for certain. But it was, I mean, it ended up being okay. It was just, nerve-wracking, I'm telling you. So I probably will not finish this canvas during this whip and chat. I thought maybe that I would be fast enough diamond painting, but something happens when I am diamond painting and talking at the same time. I tend to like not diamond paint as fast. So there you have it. But oh my gosh, something just happened. Scared my dog. One moment. A vacuum fell over out on our 3-season porch. We have like a junky piece of crap vacuum that we use for vacuuming the carpet that's out there, and it fell over and it scared him because he's kind of a big baby. I'm sure any of you that have spent any time, you know, listening or even talking to me on the Discord, you know exactly how much of a big baby that Beans is. Anyways, so yeah, anyhow, yeah, I highly recommend wearing your safety glasses or, you know, not putting your face over top of the canvas when you're trying to straighten out the drills, because that was nerve-wracking. Anyways, so we are at right about the halfway point, and this is about where I tend to bust out the tarot cards or oracle cards, whichever I'm using at that time. I gotta straighten this line out. I'm not gonna put my face over top of it though, because I'm not getting a drill to the eyeball again. Safety first. So let me grab these over here. First, I want to talk about the one that I got last week. Spoke about listening. It was card 34, if I remember correctly. 34? I feel like it was 34. It was Sylvanius, and it said, Sylvanius, where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? 34, Sylvanius. It said, can only work if we see ourselves and others as we are. It talks about a giant mirror in which we see ourselves. We think we are worse than we are. We think we are. It's a time finding out the false and misleading beliefs you've accepted, discovering you are a better person than you thought. If someone says you are better or simply different than you think you are, don't automatically reject this. Think it over carefully. So that's actually happened on a couple of occasions this week, where someone said something to me about me and the effect that I have over them or on the community, etc. And instead of, you know, denying that, I really took it in and I wanted to understand it a little better, right? So I listened with my whole heart, and I let it soak in instead of automatically saying, oh yeah, thanks, you know, whatever, and then kind of disregarding it, I really processed what they said and really what it meant, right? So there is a whole community over on Discord, and we have almost 100 members now, I think. Let me, hold on one second. Okay, so I checked, and there's 98 members, almost 100 members. And every person that's on there is on there for whatever reason they're on there, right? Some want to make friends, some just want to see pictures, some want to be part of events or whatever. But there's a good group that they really are starting to build close bonds and friendships, and some of them I'm building close bonds and friendships with. And one person said tonight, actually, before I started this WIP and chat, that before finding my channel and before finding the Discord, that for a long time they had literally stopped socializing with anyone outside of their own home. They felt very bullied in the community, that they just shut down because of that bullying. And I felt awful, of one, that they would be bullied in a community about diamond painting, but I've felt that way, right? And then the fact that now that person has a whole community of people, and it is, whether or not I like the way it feels to say it out loud, if it feels like bragging or it's like whatever, they have that because of me and because of my channel, and that's just facts. It's not bragging, it's facts. And I'm not trying to brag. I'm pointing it out as fact because it is fact. And then I deal with how that makes me feel, right? It's weird, for one. It's very weird. But I'm so happy and I'm so proud of the fact that they were able to, that was way too many, that they were able to find that in my community and to build some real relationships with people, thanks to a community that I created. That makes me feel really awesome, and I was very grateful for that reminder this week. We got 2 new members this evening that ended up on the voice channel, the chat, and they're like, you know, when do you guys get, this was a lot of fun, you know, when do you guys get together? I'm like, pretty much every night there's somebody on voice chat. If you want to hang out, there's usually somebody diamond painting and chatting all night long. Like, there's people from all over the world that are on at different times, and it's been fantastic to get to know everybody. And so, yeah, I really took it in and listened and processed, and I started to feel really, really good about myself, you know? Let's get into the card for this week. Now, this one I already shuffled, but this one literally flew out of the deck, and I found from my Twitch readings for people that when it flies out the deck, it means it's yours. So I'm going to flip it this way. It's right side up. Lady of the Harvest. I want to make sure there's no boobies on here. Nope, no boobies. Just gourds. Just melons. There's some melons. Look at that. The Lady of the Harvest. Her boobies are covered, but she's got some beggins. She's got some tiggle bitties. That's what Dustin says. But look at those melons. This is the Lady of the Harvest. All right, number 18. Let's see what the Lady of the Harvest has to say. She is right side up. Lady of the Harvest. Ooh, there's a butt. That's not her, though. The Lady of the Harvest. Completion, grief, loss, harvest, release are the key words. It says, it is time to accept change, to move on to the next phase. Power and strength in the present and future come from releasing the past. This is a time of liberation, and we might as well cooperate with it. It will happen whether we want it to or not. Release and liberation may be painful or joyful depending on the circumstances. Cry if you need to. Be joyful if that is appropriate. But in either case, trust the process. Acknowledge what you feel and prepare to move on. You know, I talked about the fact that I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous about the fact that Aurora is going to move on and start this new adventure, and what that means about me, and what adventures it might mean, or sadness that it might mean. Sorry, I don't mean to get emotional. I didn't think that I would. My daughter is my best friend. It's a weird thing to say. I've still always been her mother, right? I've always been her mom, and I'm always going to be her mom. That's never going to change, not distance, not anything. But I feel like I'm losing my best friend, you know? And as tumultuous as things were with my own mom, the relationship that we had and how back and forth it was, and you know, I talk more at length about that in my passion project videos, but our relationship was very complicated, very, very complicated. And so, you know, to have a good, I feel like, healthy relationship with my daughter, you know, it's what every mother dreams to have, like, and to know that in some ways that's going away. Now, no, I know it's not ending. It's not going away forever, but it's still really hard. And like I said, I'm proud of myself that I didn't manipulate the situation and make her feel guilty about going, and that, because that was a lot of what I learned, was manipulation and guilt, because my mom had borderline personality disorder, and that kind of like fear of rejection and that fear of abandonment is always there. So it was like, I don't have borderline personality disorder, but you learn those behaviors when your parents teach you. And so those sorts of tactics, I'll call them, were very prevalent in my upbringing. And I feel like it would be so easy to fall into those patterns and to make her feel like I can't do this without her. Well, that's not true. I'm an adult. She is an adult, and she deserves her own adventures too. It's just so hard. It's so hard because I co-slept with this child until she was 6 years old. Even working with her at the Renaissance Fair, we slept in the same tent in you know, on a bed together and in hotels together. And, you know, we've done all of these things together. And it's like an end of an era. And it's so weird. It's so bizarre. It also makes me feel some type of way about my age and about where I am in my journey. And it's like this approach of a midlife thing. You know, part of me looks at the crone stage, because that's really, again, that's where I'm headed, right? No denying it. Doesn't make me an old woman. It just means that I'm approaching that stage where my children are grown. They don't need me in that way anymore. I am here for support and things like that still, always. But I am not going to be as needed as they find their way through the world. And it's a scary place to be as a parent. I don't know how to exist. I don't know what to identify as anymore. And that's hard. I'm still a mom. That doesn't mean I'm not a mom. I get that. But being a mom who takes care of her kids the best way that I know how, and to give my kids the opportunities I didn't have and the support I didn't have, it's always been so important to me. And so, like, to know that I did well enough at that she's going to go find these adventures somewhere else, it's both really beautiful and really sad. And so, like, the lady of the harvest, right? I get to reap what I've sown for so many years in a good way. I get to watch and experience her growing and changing, and it's beautiful and it's bittersweet and it's so many things, you know? And I think in some ways, like, I didn't have this experience with her because her college is 20 minutes away. You know, she's close by. And now that her plan is to be farther, I really get to like face that and own up to it, and not own up to it, words, experience it. And I'm not ready. I'm ready. I'm totally ready, but I'm not ready, you know. I'm glad that I have the remainder of this school year. So until next semester, spring, I think it's the whole school year. I'm pretty sure it's not just the semester, because that doesn't sound right. I don't think that sounds right. I think it's the whole school year. And so I've got time to prepare myself for it, but it's been on my mind since she left here to go back to school. And it's like the clock starts ticking, you know? And I'm very sorry that I got super emotional. That doesn't always happen, but when a card slaps you in the face like that, and it's like, hey, you know, sometimes, oh, look at me just opening right to the page. Power and strength in the present and future come from releasing the past. This is a time of liberation, and we might as well cooperate with it. It will happen whether we want it or not. Cry if you need to. Be joyful if that is appropriate, but in either case, trust the process, acknowledge what you feel, and prepare to move on. It says prepare to move on. It doesn't say move on, right? So I have time. they don't give you like a playbook, right? When you are in the hospital and you're holding your kids for the first time and you're looking down in their beautiful little faces, they don't tell you that that's how you'll feel, you know? They don't tell you that everything will change, that everything's going to be different. So I will cry if I need to. I will laugh if it's appropriate. And I probably will laugh. But I'm proud. I'm very, very proud of her too. Because she gets to do this in a way that I didn't. Because she's going to be able to grab life by the entire nutsack, and with a really great education, with a really great prep from both of her parents, you know. Her dad, not, I mean, in a different way. He's been not an absent father. Like, he's just not been, they haven't been as close. This gives them an opportunity to build a relationship that they haven't really had so much. And I think she needs that too. She does. I don't have to like it that she's moving there and getting more time with him and whatnot. I don't have to like it, but I definitely have to accept it. But it's like, I feel like the story of Hades and Persephone, and it's funny because, you know, I've unboxed that damn kit so many times this year, and everything this year, including this kit, right, the Morrigan, has been screaming crone stage at me. And I feel like the stories of Hades and Persephone, you know, I talk about it a lot because it's not a story. It's not a love story. Well, it is. But it's not a love story between Hades and Persephone. It is a love story between Persephone and her mother, Demeter. Demeter changes the entire world to winter and fall, you know, fall and winter when her daughter leaves her for 6 months to go to the underworld. Persephone returns and Demeter makes it spring. And I feel like, you know, I'll be in my form of fall and winter. And that's okay too. And I have to trust the process. That's the part I need to remember to take away from it, is to trust the process and not immediately, you know, say, nope, this is garbage. I don't want it. It's wrong. Let's do it a different way. I need to throw manipulation at her so she doesn't go, and hold on to the past and not allow her to change or whatever. It's just a very different relationship that she and I have always had, you know? When you look into their tiny little 5 and 6 year old faces, you don't feel this moment happening because it's not happening then. It starts to come on a little faster as they get older, but it doesn't really slap you around until you're watching them walk across a stage with a cap and gown. And then you can start to feel the ball rolling. Both their leave taking and your own growing and shifting and moving and changing, you really start to feel that harvest happening. I remember the first time she drove a car, right? And I'm in the car with her, and well, the first time she drove me around in a car, I should say, because she did her practicing with Dustin, which was fine. But when she drove around with me in a car, and she had her temps then, and it was so strange to look over at her and to see this young woman who was once a zygote inside of my body was now propelling us around in a 1-ton vehicle at 65, 70 miles per hour. And it's like, and I am trusting you with my life the way I was entrusted with yours when you were literally nothing yet, you know? It's a very strange feeling. And to feel now like I am careening toward something at such high speeds, and I can't slow it down. It's so weird. And I'm very proud, but I'm very nervous too, you know? God. This is not what I expected to do, you guys. I don't know. It's like part of me wants to cut this, start over, not be sad. I'm not sad either all the way. It's not all sadness. It's so many different things. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm sure somebody else who's already been through this, I bet they probably could. They probably could. But for me, I'm having a really hard time describing what I'm feeling or what I'm thinking. And I'm really happy that she's not here right now to see this or hear this, because I wouldn't want her to take this as, you know, my being mad or upset with her or any of those things, you know. I wouldn't want her to feel that, because it's not that at all. It's accepting my own stuff, you know, getting through it in my own way and not having to make her feel responsible for the ways that I'm feeling, because it's not her fault. It is not a fault. It is definitely, yeah, it has to do with her, but it is not her fault. This is all my own junk. My own junk with my own mom, my own junk with, like, the whole idea of being an adult and grown up, and, like, holy crap, this is really it, you guys. Like, there is no turning the bus around now. We're headed toward Adultville, and I'm not ready to get off on that stop yet, you know? But you ain't got much choice. You just gotta go with it, you know? So I will continue to process things. I will continue to feel feelings about it, and to try to better understand, you know, why it feels to women like, I don't know, like the beginning of the end, I guess. It isn't. I know it isn't. I have so much freaking life left, and I know it. But it does. It feels like the beginning of an ending, and I don't like endings. And they're really, and I guess that also tracks with the idea that I don't think that things really end. I think that they just change. And for every destruction of a thing, there's a creation of a new. And I have to focus on that part of the harvest, right? Because when you sow, when you reap the fields, you sow something new. And so I've got to focus on whatever that next new thing is, right? Anytime that we end a pattern or change direction or whatever, we have to focus on what the next thing is going to be, the next new thing. And so I'm going to try and ponder on that too, because right now I feel like I'm focused so much on the old way or the old thing or the last thing that I'm not focusing on the next thing. And what do I plant in its place? I have so many new options available, like so many things that I can be doing. And it's not like some sort of, you know, Tim McGraw, live like you were dying sort of song happening right now, right? I've just gotta figure out what I mean to people, what I am to myself, where I'm going with everything, you know, all of it, right? I've gotta figure those things out now, because it's a new part of my life. And I've got to figure out what the heck it means and what I fill it with. Because I could very easily sit and fill it with moping and crying, and I think that's part of it. Is it's that not knowing, what does it actually mean now? Who am I now? If I'm not direct caretaker to my kids, who am I now? If I'm not constant taxi to my kids, who am I now? If I'm not helping with homework, who am I now? If I'm not giving my kids' friends a safe place to sleep, or advice about growing up, or whatever, what am I now? If I'm not all of these things, what am I? And I think that's the part that I've got to figure out, is what does this new part of my life look like? And I have to also learn to be okay with whatever that is. That it's not an ending, it's a beginning. It's a harvesting, but it's not like the fields don't lay barren forever. And in fact, I get to have a really beautiful harvest to look at once it's done. And who knows? Maybe someday she'll be a mom and I get to be a grandma and I get to live, you know, that new adventure. And it just means the start of a different and new thing. And I guess I'm gonna focus on that. Sorry about that. Kids upstairs decided to get all loud for a quick minute. Yeah, I'm figuring it out, you guys. It's gonna take me a minute, and I'm gonna remember to allow myself to cry when I need to cry, and laugh when it's appropriate to laugh, and figure out who I am, what I am, where I belong, all the things. And you get to find out along with me. So, to those of you out there who have gone through this sort of stuff before, you know, any sort of, you know, crone advice that you have for me, I'll take it. I always will take it. And then for those of you who are about to enter this stage, let me know how you're feeling. Guess what, guys? I actually did finish it. That was the last diamonds that I laid. So I did finish it in the time of this WIP and chat. But thank you guys for sticking around through my minor meltdown. But I think I've talked my way out of it. As ever, you guys, wherever you are in this great, big, beautiful world, I hope that you are having a fantastic morning, evening, or afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Enjoy these crickets for a moment as I say goodbye. Goodbye.